It was a love story in the making.
I don't blame the New York Times for running the story.
A nomadic Australian with classified U.S. documents, an American newspaper with the power to print them.
In June of last year, I got a fairly mysterious phone call from the editor-in-chief of The Guardian newspaper in London, asking if we were interested in partaking of a vast trove of secret U.S. documents.
The New York Times and Julian Assange developed a relationship all other U.S. mainstream media outlets envied.
WikiLeaks.
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 WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks.
WikiLeaks.
The New York Times first introduced readers to the popular whistleblower website in June, publishing classified U.S. war logs posted on WikiLeaks. In the midst of declining readership and a shrinking budget, Assange was a blessing for the Times. The paper has printed 200 stories on Assange, more than 500 on WikiLeaks. Articles detailing shocking field reports of U.S. operations in Afghanistan, chaos and illegal activity behind the Iraq War, and embarrassing diplomatic tactics used by the U.S. State Department. But like many passionate romances,
he told us he wouldn't sleep in one place more than one night if he had to.
The Gray Lady has kicked the blonde Aussie out of bed and is now selling juicy details of a 6-month affair for just under $6.
Initial impressions of Julian Assange, sent up some red flags.
A digital book called Open Secrets, WikiLeaks, War, and American Diplomacy.
In addition to releasing the full video from the helicopter cockpit, they released an edited version that had been turned into kind of a piece of anti-war propaganda.
New York Times employees describe Assange as a source, not a partner or collaborator. A man who acted like a fugitive, conspiratorial, and contemptuous of the U.S. government.
It seems to me extremely opportunist to take the information, to deal with the guy, to use the information, and then to say, well, he's more of a villain or a man on the loose or on the run, when in fact they're using his information and trying to disparage his character at the same time.
The timing may not be a coincidence. The U.S. Justice Department is conducting a criminal investigation into WikiLeaks, reportedly looking into the Espionage Act to prosecute Assange. Government officials say publishing secret documents from the Pentagon and State Department created a national security risk.
Controversial WikiLeaks founder.
This whole WikiLeaks scandal.
But even mainstream media, echoing the government's criticism, talk much less about Lindsay, Brittany, and Charlie Sheen when WikiLeaks whacks the world with a new load of secrets surrounding government corruption.
We do play a different game.
Assange, in an interview with 60 Minutes, says it's about giving people information they need.
If you're a whistleblower and you have material that is important, we will accept it, we will defend you, and we will publish it. You can't turn away material simply because it comes from the United States.
Yet ironically, a First Amendment powerhouse within the United States is turning its back on a man utilizing free speech to garner government accountability and transparency.
They have a vested interest, the New York Times, in making Julian Assange out to be something that the public cannot rely on. Because once the rest of us begin going to WikiLeaks to get our information, and we begin bypassing the New York Times, then the New York Times loses more and more business, and eventually it disappears.
In this case, the New York Times has gone from writing about the story to making itself a part of the story. And now it's up to readers and viewers to decide if the newspaper in this narrative is a protagonistic hero or just a slimy heartthrob that seduced a source, reaped the rewards, and then... Marina Portnaya, RT, New York.